everybody, welcome to this edition of the Sum Up. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Today we're talking about 2 technology tips that really helped me as a teacher. The first one's going to have to do with presenting Carnegie and kind of simplifying that a little bit. The second has to do with syncing your iPad to your laptop. Lots of you guys have asked me how I do that. I'm going to show you the app that I use and how that works and help you guys get your setup. I think Brandy has hopefully gotten you your iPad by now so that you can get your setup and start moving around your room and having kids use your iPad and presenting from your iPad, making your life 1,000 times easier. Let's get started. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys from talking with you just download the PDF for your Carnegie lessons and show this up on your smartboard, but I also know from a lot of you in our conversations that this can be kind of cumbersome and a little bit annoying just to scroll all the way down to what you need, or especially if you want to skip questions. So you're like, oh, I want my kids to do 1, 2, and 3 that's on the screen right now, and then I want them to skip down to question 6. Oh, but then I don't want them to do 7, I want them to do 8 and 9 or something like that, and how annoying that is. Well, I'm going to show you a snipping tool that you can just download, and I'll show you how to get that, can make things a lot easier. So let's take this 4-2, starting with an equation to solve a problem. Let's take that for example. Let's say I wanted my kids to do the first 2 questions here, but then I wanted them to skip down and do this graph, then come back up and answer 3 and 4 about rate of change and temperature for both. Okay, so let's say I wanted to do that without having to scroll back and forth. What you can do is use your snipping tool. So I have one that I downloaded that I'll show you here in a second how to get to it, that when you just come up here to the top, it kind of shows itself, and then when you're not using it, it goes away. So I'm going to come up here and click on the camera, and the one that I have makes kind of an X and Y axis, and I hold down and it's going to start grabbing, and anything that's in this box is going to get snipped. So I want to snip questions 1 and 2. So I'm going to start with that because I want my kids to do 1 and 2. I'm going to snip that. And again, I don't want to have to scroll through the 8 pages to get to this page. So once you snip it, it's going to pop up and show you where it was saved. That's what I exited. I know mine saves to the desktop. And then it's going to give you kind of a preview of what your picture is going to look like. So I can close that because I like the way it looks. The other thing you'll need is a Google slide open, which is what I use to present in PD and what I did in my classroom. So I'm going to come back over here and I have this Google slide open. And what's cool about my snipping tool, which yours might be the same if you have one downloaded, that it automatically copies it. So all I have to do is right click and paste, and it pastes it where I want. So then I just reformat it to fit this document. I'm going to center it a little bit better, reformat it, and there's question 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide, come back over to my PDF, scroll down to that graph that I wanted to grab, do the same thing. So I'm going to come up here and snip it. Again, I'm just holding down and then grabbing everything that I want and then letting go, and it is going to take a photo. Again, it comes up, shows me where it's saved, mine's to the desktop, and then gives me a preview of what it's going to look like. I'm going to close that. Again, go back to Google Drive, paste it over here, format it how I want. So I want to make this a little bigger, make it fit a little bit better in this slide. There's that one. And then remember, I wanted them to come back. So I'm going to go to a new slide. I wanted them to come back up here and answer questions 3 and 4. So again, I come back up to the top, get my snipping tool, and snip questions 3 and 4. Again, save to the desktop, don't need that anymore. It gives me a preview, looks good. Come back to the Google slide, paste it in here, format it real fast. So once you get the hang of this, this takes literally no time. I use the snipping tool every day, even this year, and I'm not even teaching, but last year it was like 2, 3, 4 times a day I would use this tool. Because here's what's cool is, then I can come up here to my first slide, I can go to View, Present, and instead of having to scroll through all my slides, I can work this slide with the kids that I want, and then when they go to down to the graph, boom, I just hit next, there's my graph, and then I want them to come back up, hit the next arrow, there's those 2 questions. So there's not all that scrolling. The other really cool thing is once you've put it into these slides, you can add a whole bunch of stuff to it. So like I'm going to go up to slide 36. This was a slide that I used with PD the other day with the 7th grade. So I snipped the questions from the book, but then after they had their time to work on it, I added in this timer by going insert video, and then I just get a timer from YouTube. I added in what partner 1 was going to be sharing and partner 2, and then I also just typed in the sentence stem for them to use. And I'm not having to redo that for every class, it's just right there and there's no scrolling. Just arrowing over and I have it. Okay, so that's the snipping tool. To get the one that I have, you just come over to Google and type in screen Hunter 7.0 free. Since I'm on Chrome, it automatically pops up. So Screen Hunter 7.0 free. I'm going to click on that to Google search it. And then the first link that pops up, click on that. And it's going to be this third one down here that says download for free. We want that one. When you click download, it'll pop up down here. I already have it, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it. But then it'll give you this little snipping tool up at the top that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's your first tip. Snipping tool is a lifesaver. So to teach from your iPad, or to get your iPad hooked up to your computer, here's the website you're going to go to first. So there's two parts, one on the computer and then one on our iPad that I'll get you to in a second. So first of all, you're going to go to this website, doceri.com/downloads. doceri.com/downloads. You just type it straight up into the website bar. So once you've typed that in, it's going to take you to this page, which is the Doceri page. You're going to scroll down, and on the bottom right, it says try before you buy. Download Doceri desktop and evaluate it for 30 days. Now, I'm going to give you the inside scoop. I downloaded the 30-day trial like 3 years ago, and I've never had to upgrade. So just know that it is 30 days, but you can actually go and not have to pay for it, and it'll work. The only thing it does is it puts a little watermark, but that's no big deal. So you're going to download the trial. I'm not going to go through the download on this video. Basically, just hit download. It's going to download to your computer, and then you'll know you have it because over here, it's going to give you the Doceri icon. So like mine's right here on the right side of my screen. Okay, so you want to make sure you have that. That's the first step. Once Doceri is downloaded, you're going to double click it, and it's going to give you this connection dashboard that has a QR code. It has your name that you logged in with, because you're going to have to sign up with a name when you download it, and that's going to be how it connects. Okay. Another way you can check if you're connected is down here on the right side of your computer screen where your icons are hidden. If you maximize it so you can see it, the little hand will be here. That's how you know it's running and working. If you ever want to close it, you just right click and close it that way. But you're going to need this QR code in order to connect your iPad. So I'm going to switch over and show you the iPad side of things. Alright guys, so now we're looking at the iPad interface. This is just the home screen once I unlock mine. We need to go to the App Store. So I'm going to click on my App Store app, the one that has 15 by it. I need to do some updating. So we're going to click on that. Or once you're in your home screen, you're going to go ahead and search. So the search bar is up at the top. I'm going to click to search, and I want to search for Doceri. So D-O-C-E-R-I. So you'll see it comes up Doceri Interactive Whiteboard as the second option. I want to click that second option. In my search downloads, you can see the first one at the top left says Doceri and has the same little hand. That's the one that I want, so it looks like this. As you can see on mine, it says open. That's because I've already downloaded it to this iPad. For you guys, you'll have to actually download it. So you're going to go through the process, just click on it, download it to your iPad. So again, mine's already open, but once yours has finished downloading, we're going to go back to the home screen and scroll over to find our icon. So mine is down here. It's the very last icon. It's the latest thing that I had downloaded. So you are going to click to open up Doceri. So once Doceri opens up, it's going to give you a face that looks like this. So there's two options to start with. There's from my iPad alone, and then there's through the computer. We want to click the option that's through the computer because we're going to hook this up to our computer. So we're going to click through computer. And on mine, since I've already connected my iPad to the computer, it goes straight to this screen. For you guys, it might not, I'm not exactly sure. If it does come to this screen, you want, see how mine says C Grady? Yours should say whatever name you signed in with. So mine says C Grady, and when it's blue, you know you've connected to your computer. One thing that's very important is that your iPad and your computer have to be on the same Wi-Fi connection. So like at home, that's probably no problem, but at school we have like 10 different Wi-Fis you can click on. Make sure you're using the exact same Wi-Fi or it won't show up. So for you, what should happen the very first time is you'll have a screen with a QR scanner on it. You're going to hold that iPad and your scanner up to the computer screen and let that connect. So that's how you'll connect. Remember, on the computer screen it had that bar and that icon. You're going to scan your QR code with your iPad, and that's going to connect you. So once you've done that, you're going to click on your name. It'll say waiting for screen, and boom, now you are connected to your screen. So this is the presentation that I showed you earlier where we snipped some things. I want to show you how this all works a little bit. I don't have obviously time, it'd be a really long video to go through all of the cool things that Doceri does, but I'm going to show you the big ones that are important. So on the computer screen, I'm just going to go to view, present, so that I have my slide at full view. So when the iPad is turned this direction, there's a couple options. See how there's two pictures? The top half allows you to arrow to things. So when I hold down on the top half, see how it zooms in and it has an arrow? That is putting an arrow up on the screen for the kids to see. So if you could see my computer screen right now, there's an arrow in this direction, and it's a pretty big one. So like I use this, you could do it for your closed reading and have them follow along because they'd see the arrow and track with you. You could just say, okay, our first one is A, 32 degrees, and you're pointing to it, so that helps. Down below, this bottom part is where you actually write. So up at the top left is the writing tool. When you click on that, it goes into what's called drawing mode. Now, as you'll see when you do this on your computer screen, this is where the watermark gets put, which is kind of unfortunate. So it puts a watermark at the bottom right. For me, it's always easier to do the drawing mode when I turn my iPad to landscape, so it's a little bit bigger. Up at the top are all your different drawing tools you can use. So let's say I wanted to highlight some part of the text. I could just click on the highlighter. And let's say I wanted to highlight this equation that's in the text for Fahrenheit. I can use two fingers and zoom in on the equation to make it easier. And then I just highlight over what I want to highlight, zoom back out. And then what the kids would see isn't the zooming, they just see you highlighting, so they wouldn't know. Okay, if I wanted to show some work, I could come up here to the very left, that's all the drawing tools. And if you hold down, it gives you more options. I don't particularly like the ballpoint pen. I usually go with just this marker, and then there's all these different colors. So the cool thing about this is you can give the iPad to a student to show their work, and they can work it out. So they could do their work. Again, you're just writing. To move around, you have to use two fingers. That is one thing that's a little bit different. If you use one finger to move, it puts a line, so it's like you're drawing. So if you want to move around, it's two fingers, okay? So let's say I wanted to take a picture for student work. So instead of using the document camera, I'm just walking around with my iPad and I see a student that has great work. I want to put their work on the screen. Then what I have is up at the top left, it looks like a little mountain and a sun. If I click that icon, it allows me to choose a photo. So from libraries, if I wanted to put a picture that I already had, so I would do this for like, if we were gonna work out of a skills practice, I would have a picture already taken of the skills practice page, click on the library and put the skills practice page up on the screen so everybody could see, but then you can write on it. Or like from camera, I could click from camera, and then this allows me to walk around and take a picture. So you can see right here what I'm looking at my screen. So I could take a picture of student work and then put it up on the screen and they could write on it or talk about it. So it's got, like I said, it's got a whole lot of features. You really just have to play with it. When you are ready to go to your next slide, so we talked about how we could just make it into slides. There's a couple options for you. So you're gonna wanna get out of drawing mode. So I'm gonna come over here and click that drawing mode again. And if you notice, all my writing went away, but it's saved up here at the top. So where it says resume, if I click that slide, it brings it all back. So now it's all back. Hit the drawing mode, it goes away. And then once drawing mode's done, then I just click and it goes to my next slide. I can go to my drawing tools, make my graph. What's also cool is I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, but up at the top it has an option to draw a line so they can be straight. And then again, once you're done, click the drawing tool and it automatically saves it up at the top so that you can go back to it if you need to. Okay, like I said, there's tons of stuff you can do with this. Play around with it, and if you need any help, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Any questions about any of the stuff that you saw today, please don't hesitate to ask. I want to make your life as easy as possible and use technology to make that happen. All right, have a great day. Keep up your great work. I'm so thankful for all of you. You guys rock.